Are you ready for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous? Because I am. Grenadier Alchemist, starting build. Grenadier thrives on drinking mutagens to buff his bombs and weapons. It's limited to light armor, simple weapons and martial weapons, but frankly, you don't need weapons when you have bombs. Alchemists can also throw explosive consumables from inventory to deal damage when out of bombs. Drinking mutagens when combat gets harder is the way to go. During campaign, alchemists can also create potions. Alchemists love using trickery to unlock chests and disarm traps, use magic device to cast spells from scrolls. He has great perception to spot hidden things and traps, and his knowledge and lore are also formidable. Race: human and halfling are good candidates for alchemists, while elves are probably the best option. Background selection, nothing to think about. Regional Alkenstar Alchemist is the only way to go. Abilities 10, 16, 8, 20, 10 and 10. For skill points we just take everything that's green with addition of persuasion and off we go. Feats: ability focus on bombs with extra bombs for the second feat. Spells now: we take Bomber's Eye to throw those bombs further away, Cure Light Wounds to heal a bit, Dismiss Spell to clear combat area after battle, Retreat to run around faster in combat, Fire Belly for close-up AoE, Shield for defense, targeting Bomb Admixture to stop splash damage to hit your allies in combat, and True Strike for your party members to actually hit someone during the game. Deity: it's Abadar, simple as that. Elves now: we stick with a base elf, Alkenstar Alchemist for background, apply everything else from human. Halflings, also, we're gonna stick with base and apply everything else from human. Flame Dancer Bard, starting build, fire-based bard, simple as that. He will provide fire resist for the entire party, and on level 8 he will receive Fireball, Burning Arc and Burning Hands for free. They are proficient in all skill checks in the game. Bards are masters of all skill checks in this game. Light armor, simple weapon proficiencies for bards. We receive cantrips, or better to say, 0 level spells for the start. We receive Detect Magic for free. Races: all races with high charisma and solid dexterity will make for a good bard. So, human, elf, gnome, halfling, Aasimar, Dhampir, Kitsune is the way to go. We start with human, then we transfer to other races as well. Background selection: street urchins, Mugger is a solid choice. Almost all backgrounds from regional will work on a bard. You can pick whatever you like. In this guide, we will take Daredevil for a showcase. Allocating ability points: 8, 16, 8, 12, 10 and 20. Skills: as I said, bards are the masters of all skill checks. I would take mobility, trickery, knowledge world, perception, persuasion and use magic device. Feats: point blank shot and lingering performance are solid starting options. Alertness, precise shot, dodge, extra performance, initiative, they're all great feats that you will acquire when you level up. Spells: from spells, summon monster for early game will help you a lot, and of course, cure light wounds to heal a bit if you plan to play without a healer in your team. Since we are playing Flame Dancer, we want evocation focus in feats, and we will search for fire-based evocation spells when our Flame Dancer starts receiving levels. So elemental focus fire should be the way to go on level 6 or 7, cause on level 8 you'll receive very cool fire abilities. Deity: Abadar or Kaiden Salian is a solid choice for a bard, pick whatever you like. Alignment, good or evil, it's your choice. Other races now: elves, gnomes, halflings, kitsunes, Dhampirs. We stick with base versions and we just copy everything from human build. Aasimars, Idilkin, and Mustache make for a phenomenal bard. Apply everything else after that from human build. Devilbane Priest Cleric starting build. Devilbanes aka Demon Hunters. This subclass is proficient with heavy armor and shields, so these are tanky motherfuckers, Demon Hunters. Knowledge of Arcana and World, Persuasion, and Lore Religion are skills that clerics like the most. They are the masters of Knowledge Arcana, and they're limited to only one domain. Races, Human and Dwarf are the best option for clerics. Aasimars and Empyreals are also a valid choice. We start with humans, then we transfer to other races. Background selection. Original Cheliexian Diabolist is the only way to go here. Abilities, Classic 1610s. Allocating skill points, we just pick greens and we move on. Feats, again, it varies. Clerics are tricky, you need endurance, toughness, you need spell focus. If you want to deal damage from afar, like a mage, you need evocation. If you want to buff your team, you need divination, enchantments. For this subclass specifically, we're gonna take divination and enchantment spell focus. For the deity, everything works with this cleric. It's your choice how you wanna play, good or evil. What you decide to pick, that's the domain you'll get. What I can advise is to have luck domain, perhaps glory, destruction. Those are good to have early on. We're gonna pick, let's say, we're gonna pick Torag, positive energy, with artifice domain. Alignment is your choice, pick what you like. Dwarf, Devilbane, Demon Hunter, Cleric now. We pick Barrow Dwarf. Background remains Diabolist, copy everything else from human. Make sure to pick some solid deity to get luck, glory domain, destruction domain, war domain, and so on. It is your choice here. Devilbane, Dampier, Vampire, Demon Hunter, Cleric. Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born for a melee cleric. Vetala Born for ranged cleric. Regional Diabolist remains, but you're gonna switch. If you go with a melee, you go with strength. If you go with Vetala Born, you switch strength for dexterity, and that's all there is to know. Everything else you just copy from human. Having that domain for Dampier Vampire is also quite good at the end. Tower Shield Specialist Fighter starting build. They are proficient with athletics, lore nature, knowledge world, and persuasion, as well with all types of weapon and armor, including the heaviest one, Tower Shield and heavy armor. That's the way to play them after all. This is a pure soaking up damage tank. Tanks are weak and useless on unfair, cause enemies hurt, they hurt a lot. But they're great for easier difficulties and especially for beginners. Races, Human, Dwarf, Dampier, Aasimars, Half-Orcs, Half-Elves, they're all valid choices here. Dwarf is absolutely the best tank in the game for Tower Shield Specialist subclass. We're gonna start with Human first. Background selection, all from Craftsman will work here. Regional, River Kingdoms Daredevil is a good choice, Shackle Corsairs too. Warrior of Linorm Kings is also extremely good. We're gonna go with the Warrior of Linorm Kings. Allocating ability points. 16, 14, 18, 10, 9, and 9 is what we want for a Tower Shield Specialist. For skill points, just stick with greens, pick Athletics, Mobility, and Persuasion. For team feats, you'll want to stay away from weapon focus feats and weapon proficiencies, and you wanna search for a shield wherever you can and whenever you can. After that, very good thing to have is armor focus on heavy armor, tower shield, team feats like shield wall if you have another character with a shield in your team, and so on. How are we gonna start it? We're gonna start it with Shake It Off and Endurance. For the bonus combat feat, we can take shield wall, but be careful to have at least one more in your team with a shield. Deity, Asmodeus, Gorum, Yomedea, Rovagug, Shailene, Torag, and Zon Kuton are all good choices here. Pick what you like, same goes with alignment too. Dwarves now, they're the first in line. All three are valid choices here, and I would pick Unstoppable Dwarf or Base Dwarf for this case. Everything else will remain the same as for the human. The only thing we're gonna change is abilities. 17, 13, 20, 10, 9, and 5 is the way to go. If you decide to pick half elves, half orcs, just copy everything from human, Tower Shield Specialist. And for Aasimars, Tower Shield Specialist, Angelkin, and Lawbringer are the way to go. Everything else, copy paste from human. Two-handed fighter. This is classic, easy to master, easy to play. They're proficient with athletics, lore nature, knowledge world, and persuasion, as well as with all types of weapons and armor. They'll receive a bonus combat feat on every second level. Race, human, dwarf, Dhampir, Aasimar, half orc, half elf, they're all valid choices. We're gonna go with human. Background selection, everything from Craftsman will work, or you're gonna pick Daredevil, Shackles Corsair, or Linum King's Warrior from Regional. For this build, we can go with a Daredevil. Ability points, 20, 14, 14, 10, 9, 9 is the way to go. You want to hurt and you want to burst with your two-hander warrior. Skill points, stick with greens, take persuasion, take athletics, take mobility, and off you go. So, now we know you're gonna use two-handers from the start. So, weapon focus on a great axe or a great sword is the way to go. Pick what you like more, axe or a sword. If you're not sure what you'll use for your two-hander, just stick with classic things like team fits, precise strikes, die hard, dodge, endurance, toughness, initiative until you decide what weapon you wanna play with. Deity now, Asmodeus, Gorum, Yomedea, Rovagug, Shailene, Torag, Zon Kuton, they're all good choices. Gorum and Rovagug are the best to take for sure. Dwarves now, they're the first in line. All three here are a valid choice, Unstoppable Dwarf, and you just copy and paste everything from human after that. Half orcs, half elves, you stick with base half elf and base half orc, and just copy everything from human two-handed fighter. Aasimars, Angelkin, and Lawbringer are the way to go. I like Angelkin more. After that, copy everything from human. If you wish to play as a vampire two-handed fighter, Jiang Shiborn, Rushi is the way to go here. After that, just copy everything from human.
Wandering Marksman Hunter starting build. We can play as melee or ranged, although ranged is the way to go. They are proficient with all weapons, shields, and armor except heavy stuff. As the name suggests, these are ranged hunters only. Race, we're searching for high wisdom and high dexterity. Humans, dwarves, half-elves, elves, Aasimars. Dhampirs are all a solid choice for hunters, marksman hunters. We start with a human, then we transfer to other races as well. Background, Wanderer Nomad, Regional Diplomat, Regional Hunter, Regional Varisian Explorer are all valid choices here. We stick with Wanderer Nomad for this build. Allocating ability points 8, 20, 10, 12, 16, and 8. Allocating skill points athletics, stealth, knowledge world, lore nature, perception, and persuasion is the way to go. Feats, it's a no-brain point blank shot into precise shot, into Erastial for the deity, into animal companion, can be whatever you like. It doesn't matter at all, to be honest. Take boar, it has biggest natural armor. Spells also, it's no brain. Hurricane bow into summon nature's ally and you're good to go. Alignment, this is your choice, pick what you like. Other races now. Dwarves, we take Barrow Dwarf and we copy everything from human. Elves and half-elves, we're gonna pick base and then we're gonna copy everything from human. Aasimars, Lawbringer and Plume Kit is the way to go. Plume Kit is far better though, and then we copy everything from human. Dhampir, Nosferatu Born if you want to play as a vampire, but I wouldn't advise it. Then we copy everything from human. Traditional Monk, starting build, nothing to say here for this subclass, it's a classic monk. As in any other game you want to play them with their weapons or unarmed, you can do it without any penalties whatsoever. Monks are using chi for the special attacks and spells. Monks hate wearing armor, you're playing naked to be more precise. All monks are proficient with bare fist fighting and with monks' weapon proficiencies, quarterstaffs, nunchakus, sais, kamas, and similar strange weapons. Most of them are using wisdom as a primary stat. Monk is a very fast, evasive, durable, and reliable class. Choosing race, we need high wisdom, solid strength, dexterity, and constitution for monks. It's hard to balance this class out. They're very weak at the first few levels and crazy good from level 10 and onwards. Have that in mind when playing monks. Prepare to suffer at the start. Human, dwarf, half-elf, Aasimars, tieflings, Orids, and Dhampirs, all of these are valid options for a monk. Dwarves and Orids are best options to take for sure, but frankly, everything is valid. We're gonna take human for the start, then we focus to other races as well. Background selection, Oblate Acolyte, Sheckless Corsair, Daredevil, and Linram Kings are all valid options. We're gonna take Oblate Acolyte. Allocating ability points 14, 16, 16, 7, 16, and 9 is the way to go. Allocating skill points athletics, mobility, and persuasion. Feats, we can go with all of those monk weapons. If you don't like playing with unarmed strike, you can go with sais, you can go with a quarterstaff, you can go with nunchaku, you can go with kama. All of those weapons are great on a monk. I'll showcase unarmed strike for this build, but you're not wrong if you go with some of those monk weapon proficiencies at all. Same build will apply, only weapons will change. We go with unarmed strike as the first feat. For second feat, we're gonna take 2 weapon fighting. Great feats to take on a monk are power attack, blind fight, combat reflexes, dazzling display, die hard, dodge, endurance, fortitude, reflex, will, initiative, persuasive, precise strikes, shake it off, toughness. You want to have dazzling display, dodge, toughness, precise strike, and shake it off as fast as you can early on. For the monk bonus feat, we're gonna take dodge. Irori is a no-brain here. Alignment is your choice. Other races now as traditional monk. For dwarves and half-elves, we're gonna stick with base versions and then we copy everything there is from human. For Aasimars, we can take Lawbringer and Plume Kit and then we're gonna copy everything else from human. For Orids, both Iron Soul and Base Orid will work well for a monk, traditionalist monk, and then we copy everything from human. For Dhampir, only Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born will work as traditional monk, then we copy it all from human. For Tiefling, we can take Folkspawn, Foulspawn, Hellspawn, Hunger Seed, or Motherless. and then we're gonna copy everything else from human build. Warrior of the Holy Light Paladin, starting build. Healing, bolstering allies, and huge damage against evil is what most paladins are proficient at. One of my favorite classes, not only in Pathfinder, but in all CRPGs in gaming history. They are proficient with all weapons and armor, including heavy stuff. This subclass of a paladin is a walking aura, and he deals most damage to undead and evil aligned enemies out of all paladin subclasses. This is the most damage against evil that you can take. All undead and evil creatures hate paladin for a reason, and they hate this subclass the most by far. Most of paladin healing spells will hurt them a lot. Almost all paladins need to remain as lawful good or they will stop receiving levels. Choosing race, we need high strength, constitution and charisma, so human, half-elf, Aasimar and tiefling are all valid options for a paladin. Background selection, Wanderer Nomad, Diplomat, Historian, Daredevil, Shackless Corsair and Linorm Kings, they're all valid, including the entire Craftsman branch. We're gonna go with Craftsman, Smith, because we want athletics. Allocating ability points, 16, 10, 16, 12, 8 and 16 is the way to go. Allocating skill points, athletics, knowledge world, lore religion and persuasion is the way to go here. This is a warrior of the Holy Light, so huge two-handed sword or a great axe. As a weapon, you leave weapon focus for later on because you can't be sure what weapon you want to play with. There are a lot of good feats you can take on as a paladin, including armor focus heavy, coordinated defense, coordinated maneuvers, die hard, endurance, fortitude, reflex, will, intimidating prowess, persuasive, power attack, shake it off, toughness. For this case, we're gonna go with toughness and heavy armor focus. No matter what diet you pick, you're always gonna end up as lawful good. Pick what you like the most. Other races now as the warrior of the Holy Light Paladin. Elf, we pick persuasion, and then we go with base. After that, we copy everything from human build. Aasimars, we want Angelkin or Idilkin for warrior of the Holy Light. After that, we copy everything from human. Tiefling, Pitborn and Shackleborn are the best options we can get. So, pick one and then we copy everything from human. Master of all rogue, starting build, sneaking, spotting traps and hidden things, disarming and unlocking, backstabs, sneak attacks, huge crits is what rogues like doing the most. I just can't even imagine playing a single CRPG without a rogue in my team. They are proficient with simple weapons and light armor. Master of all rogue, subclass, is basically a mini bard rogue. Master of all, because this class is the master of skill checks. It's the main focus for this subclass, interactions with world map, mini-maps, with dungeons, with NPCs. Everything about this one is with skill checks. Race, only half-elf is available for this subclass. We're gonna take knowledge world here. And we're gonna stick with base option. Background selection. As we did with skill focus for the half-elf with knowledge, we're gonna do the same with background and we're gonna pick historian for knowledge world and enhance it even more. This is gonna be one smart-ass rogue. Allocating ability points, 14, 18, 13, 16, 9 and 8. A bit strange, but there is a big reason. Allocating skill points, this is the master of all, so we can basically take everything. But what we gonna do? We're gonna pick Mobility, Trickery, Stealth, Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge World. Look how big Knowledge World is, by the way, it's plus 14. As I said, this is gonna be a smart-ass rogue. Where were we? Perception, Persuasion. This is what we're gonna take for Master of All. For this showcase, we will open with 2 weapon fighting. Great feats to take on a Master of All rogue are Endurance, Toughness, Alertness, Blind Fight, Die Hard, Reflexes, Deft Hands, Dodge, Improved Initiative, Lightning Reflexes, Piranha Strike, and many more. Weapon focus should always remain on daggers, short swords, kukris, or any kind of huge crit chance one-handed weapon once you level up a bit. Picking deity, Desna, Girona, Lamatsu, Norgober, Pharasma, they're all valid options. We're gonna go with Pharasma, and the alignment is completely your choice how you wanna play this. Deliverer Slayer starting build. Slayers are able to study their enemies in order to deal more damage to them. They will receive special talents as they level up. They love sneak attacks, but they're not effective as rogues. They are proficient with light and medium weapons and armor. Deliverers are assassins, simple as that. High damage, high burst. Deliverer will get Die Hard for free early on, so he is extremely tough to kill. Sneak attacks are main damage output for Deliverers. Choosing race, I only see human, half-elf and half-orc as a valid option here. If you decide to play with half-elf or half-orc, all you need to do is pick base and you copy the entire human build. For the background selection, Varisian Explorer in regional is what we want here. Allocating ability points, 14, 20, 14, 12, 8 and 8. Allocating skill points, Mobility, Trickery, Stealth, Perception and Persuasion. If you plan to have another character in your team that's gonna have Trickery, then you can remove Trickery and add Athletics. If someone else is gonna use Perception in your team, you can also remove Perception and add, for example, Knowledge World. Feats. We go with Weapon Finesse for the first feat and 2 Weapon Fighting for the second feat. Dodge, weapon focus on kukris or daggers, is great to take early on also. Have in mind that we can always play all Slayer subclasses without weapon finesse. All we need to do is switch dexterity for strength and apply some other weapons of choice instead of daggers or kukris. Why daggers and kukris and why I decided to go like this? Cause of crit damage and crit chance. It's absolutely hilarious damage output on those mini weapons. Choosing deity, Girona, Lamatsu and Pharasma are valid options here. If you go with evil alignment, you can become an assassin later on. Multi-class, to be more precise. If you stick with good deity, you will remain a deliverer only. Alignment is your choice now, pick what you like the most. Unsworn Shaman starting build. Hexes are the main things shamans rely on. This subclass is able to form a bond with a spirit of choice to enhance her abilities and spells. It will also receive a spirit animal companion tied to the inner spirit of shaman. Simple weapon proficiencies, light and medium armor proficiencies for this subclass. Unsworn Shaman is a classic shaman that can pick different spirits on the fly. Is the only subclass capable of having 2 different spirits at once. Choosing race, human, gnome, halfling, half-elf, half-orc, Aasimars, Kitsunes, they're all valid options here. In this case, we will start with human, then the best race to take for this subclass is Aasimar, by far. Background selection, Wanderer, Nomad is the only valid option here. Allocating ability points, 10, 10, 10, 12, 19 and 16 is the safe option. Risky option would be 8, 8, 10, 12, 20 and 16. Allocating skill points, we're gonna take Knowledge Arcana, Lore Nature, Lore Religion and Persuasion. Feats, for the first feat we're gonna take Spell Focus Evocation. For our second feat we're gonna take Spell Penetration. We are going to make a classic Bursting Spellcaster out of this one. For a Spirit Animal, pick whatever you like. I will go with Hair because I believe it's the best. Deity is your choice, it doesn't matter what you pick for this subclass, pick whatever you like. Same applies for alignment. Other races now as Unsworn Shaman. Gnomes, Halflings, Half-Elves and Half-Orcs. We're gonna stick with base versions. And then we're gonna copy the entire human build. Aasimar. Base Aasimar is the only valid option and it's absolutely straight brain dead how great this class subrace is for this subclass. So after this we're gonna copy everything from human. If you wanna play with a cat as an Unsworn Shaman, then base Kitsune is the way to go. Empyreal Sorcerer, starting build. Sorcerers are mages with different bloodlines. Bloodlines provide different spells as you level up. They are proficient with light weapons and you should forget about wearing armor with this subclass. They can detect magic and they're also able to cast 0 level spells, or better to say, cantrips. This is a sorcerer with divine bloodline, focused heavily on healing, debuff removals, resists and fire damage. Choosing race. All we care about is huge wisdom here and solid dexterity. A lot of races apply for this role. Human, Dwarf, Half-Elf, Aasimar, Tiefling. We're gonna stick with human and then we transfer to other races as well. For the background selection, we're gonna pick Oblate Acolyte. Allocating ability points. 8, 16, 8, 12, 20 and 10. Allocating skill points, Knowledge Arcana, Lore Religion, Persuasion and use Magic Device. Feats. For the first feat we're gonna take Spell Focus Enchantment into Spell Focus Evocation for the second feat, and we will add Spell Penetration for the Sorcerer's bonus feat. Choosing spells, we're gonna take Magic Missiles and Summon Monster 1 for some early support. Deity is your choice. I would pick Netis, pick what you like, and then your alignment will be also your choice. Other races is Empyreal Sorcerer now. For Dwarves and Half-Elves we're gonna stick with base versions and then we're gonna copy the entire human build. For Aasimars, only Plume Kit is a valid option here and then we're gonna copy the entire human build. For Tiefling, only Fold Spawn is a valid option here and then we're gonna copy the entire human build. Proclaimer Warpriest, starting build. Warpriests are all-around combo of multiple classes. Think of them as battle clerics maybe. They're fast self-buffers, team buffers, tanks, damage dealers, healers, and they're perfectionists at dealing damage with one weapon of choice. Warpriests are proficient with all weapons and armor, including the heaviest things in the game. This subclass is Warpriest that deals holy damage and it's extremely good against evil aligned enemies. He will be able to heal, buff the party, and he receives 2 blessings of the gods. If you're low, you'll deal more damage to chaos. If you're good, you'll deal more damage to evil, and so on. All Warpriests will receive certain blessings on level 1 and level 10. Blessings will change as you change your deity. It's extremely important to wield a weapon specific to deity, because that's how Warpriests deal damage, so care what you pick. Let's go with Proclaimer. Using race, we're searching for good strength, constitution and wisdom. Human, dwarf, half-elf, half-orc, Aasimars, tieflings, Orids, Dempirs. They're all valid options here. We start with human, then we switch to other races as well. Background selection: Daredevil, Shackless Corsair, Linorm Kings, Diplomat, in regional Andoran Diplomat, and Oblate Acolyte. They're all valid options here. We're gonna go with Oblate Acolyte. Allocating ability points: 17, 13, 16, 10, 14, and 10. Allocating skill points: Athletics, Lore Religion, and Persuasion. Feats: Great Feats to take are Focus on heavy or medium armor, depends what type of armor you wanna play in. Blind Fight, Coordinated Defense, Coordinated Maneuvers. Dazzling Display is obsolete. Defense, Combat Training, Die Hard, Dodge, Endurance, Great Fortitude, Iron Will, Improved Initiative, Intimidating Prowess, Persuasive, Precise Strike, Shake It Off, Toughness, and Warrior Priest. We're gonna take Warrior Priest and Toughness for the start. Choosing deity, the most important thing for Warpriest. Valid options for this subclass are Asmodeus, Calistria, Gorum, Gozreh, Yomedea, Saranrea, Shailene, and Torag. We're gonna go with Shailene. Our weapon of choice now, there is nothing to think about. We pick Shailene and it needs to be glaive. There is no other option. Choosing blessings now. For our first blessing, we're gonna take luck, and for our second blessing, we're gonna take protection. Why protection? Because it's absolutely hilarious, especially with those AoE resists after level 10. Alignment is your choice, pick what you like the most. Other races now is Proclaimer Warpriest. Dwarves, half-elves, half-orcs. We stick with base versions and we apply everything from human build. For dwarves, we can go with Barrow Dwarves and apply everything from human build. Aasimars, Lawbringer, and Plume Kit are valid options. After that, we copy everything from human build. Tiefling, Falspawn, Hellspawn, Hunger Seed, and Motherless are all valid options. After that, we copy everything from human build. Orid, Base Orid, and Iron Soul are valid options, and after that we're gonna copy everything from human build. They're also great if you wanna mix them with a monk. Dhampir, Nosferatu Born, Ancient Born is the only valid option here. You wanna pick Urgatoa or Rovagug for deity, pick Skite or Great Axe as favorite weapon, Spontaneous Inflict instead of Spontaneous Cure, and you'll go with Evil and you'll pick Death as a blessing.
Elemental Specialist, starting build for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Class. This subclass has solid reflex, solid will, and low fortitude. Knowledge into Arcana and World for skill checks, into Lore Nature, into Lore Religion for conversation options and other skill checks. The subclass will receive a bonus feat on every 5th level. We get some free cantrips, or better to say 0 level spells for the start as Elemental Specialist. You can't use armor, you're solid with ranged weapons and great with a quarterstaff. We are allowed to have a familiar, or better to say a pet. Very nice. You'll be able to detect magic and scribe scrolls during adventures. And the best thing there is, we'll receive Evocation School for free. We're able to convert spells to one element. Fire is the way to go here, I guess, but it's your choice in the end. Everything will work. Race. We can pick human, elf, or kin kitsune. I would definitely pick elf, because it's the best class that you can take for a wizard, especially for elemental specialist. Racial heritage. Stick with base elf. Do not go for Blightborn and Lore Master. Background selection: regional, Andoran Diplomat, Cheliaxan Diabolist, Nexian Scholar, Osirian Historian. Those are the way to go. We're gonna pick Nexian Scholar for this build. Allocating ability points. For advanced players that know what they're doing, we will go with 8, 18, 8, 20, 10, and 10. For less experienced players, we will go with a safer way. of 10, 18, 12, 18, 10, and 10. Allocating skill points. Skills, no brain, we stick with greens the entire game. We're gonna take Perception or Persuasion with the last point remaining. Starting feats. No brain, spell evocation into greater spell focus evocation is absolutely the way to go. Empower is great on evocation also, it works well with evocation. Spell penetration is rock solid good. Combat casting is very good, as well as elemental focus fire. So what to pick? Don't worry, you'll learn all of these feats for sure as you level up. For now, we stick with evocation. Familiar, Arcane Bond. I would pick a duck. Centipede is also solid because of will. At the end, it's your choice. My choice is definitely duck. We remove schools now, opposition schools. Transmutation, illusion, and abjuration should be removed. It's not wrong if you go with enchantment, divination, or conjuration. Focused element. I advise to go for fire. Again, it's your choice. It depends what you like the most. I believe fire is the best because I know that spells in this game are just crazy good. Fire with evocation merges very well. Spells. We take damage and we focus evocation mostly. So, Burning Hands for AoE, Ear-Piercing Scream for long range, Flare Burst for some light, Magic Missiles as the best one to start with, Shocking Grasp when someone gets close to you, Snowball so we can make enemies prone and crowd control them a bit, Summon Monster for more bodies on the field, and True Strike to boost your melee companions a bit at the start so they can actually hit someone. Deity. There is only one choice. We aim for the quarterstaff here, and that would be Netes. Alignment at the end is your choice. You wanna be bad, you wanna be good, or better say evil or good. Decide on your own. Mad Dog Barbarian starting build. You will play as a Mad Dog while having a Rabid Dog as a companion. Mad team, jokes aside. This is Animal Companion Barbarian. Nothing special about it. Could be even OP at the start of the game. They are proficient with all types of armor and weapons. Rage will buff them up even more as they rip and tear on the battlefield. Races, human and half-orc are the way to go. Background, Daredevil, Shackles, Linarum Kings, everything is valid, pick what you like, we're gonna go with Daredevil. Allocating ability points, 20, 12, 16, 10, 8, and 8. Allocating skill points, stick with greens. For feats, Alertness, Armor Focus, Blind Fight, Die Hard, Endurance, Extra Rage, Fortitude, Initiative, Will, Power Attack, Toughness, they're all great, we're gonna take Endurance, and we're gonna take Toughness. Choosing Animal Companion. This is the main difference with Mad Dog aside from all other subclasses. Pick a pet that you like the most, but it would be fair to play with a Rabid Dog. Deity is Gorum, Blood for Gorum. If you don't like Gorum, you'll like Rovagug. For Half-Orc, just stick with base and copy everything from Human.